Hi there, Joka here with a new video. I actually have 3 new videos today on my channel with new Spellbinders collections. This one is the Stitched Numbers and More collection. And there's also new cardstock colors available, which is really great. And ever since I got them, I've been using pretty much only these cardstocks, so bear with me. I hope you're not gonna get tired of them. So if you remember last year, there were stitched letters that came out, and they were really great. And then now we have numbers and punctuation symbols and stuff like that, hashtag, at, question marks, brackets, that sort of thing. These are really large, so sure, you can obviously use them on cards, but maybe some of them are a bit challenging. Hashtag, for example, because there's not a lot of things, you know, they are too large. There's not a lot of things that you can say, but you can create really cool art projects with these. I have one on my wall as well, so I think for that reason they are really great. And I'm also going to use a bunch of different, well, some products that I already used, like this one, or there's other products that I stole from the Spellbinders booth when they were here in I think it was January, end of January or beginning of February, I don't even remember. There was this what do you call it? I have the German name in my mind, trade show, yeah. So there was this trade show here where I live, and I kind of emptied the whole Spellbinders booth, I think. So that's where I stole some of these items because I didn't have them yet. So I figured that, you know, I like to add flowers to everything, so I just figured I will use a bunch of different ones. And at this point I did not really know what I'm gonna use the flowers for. I just knew that I need them for something. Now the question mark. I really wanted to create a card where you ask something, you know, and then the question mark is kind of the focus. So I created 3 of them, and it reminds me of something that, again, that's the German name. I think it's children's stories. They are called the 3 question marks, and I think the English version is actually 3 not investigators or something, 3 investigators, something like that. I never read them or anything, but I do see them, you know, everywhere. So I created these 3 question marks, and that's all I can think of. Anyway, I am going to use this, I think it's called Be Bold alpha from last year, to create my sentiment, and that is going to be Will You Be My Bridesmaid? I'm never gonna be able to use this card. I will say that, but I didn't know what else to ask. And I know that this, I think I already got a card like this from a friend of mine once. Anyway, just to add something more textured and special in the background, I'm using 3D embossing folders. This one is quite recent. I think it was one of the club kits, February, if I see it well. And I'm also going to use a bunch of other 3D embossing folders to create, well, to have a textured background for my other cards. And, you know, I like to create cards with a purpose. I have hundreds of cards that I cannot do anything with, really. They are everywhere in my flat. I really wish that there were card drives here, or, you know, where I can donate my cards or whatever. But when, you know, sometimes I like to create cards with purpose, and these ones will come in handy, where you use a number, you know, for someone's birthday. My dad is gonna turn 70 next week, which is why we are going to visit them. Then my mom's birthday is in June. Then my best friend's birthday is next month. So I kind of created cards for them. Sometimes I want to create a card, any card with a number. And believe it or not, I cannot decide on the number because I keep thinking, but I don't know anybody that age, you know? So I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so I have my question marks, and then I'm trying to figure out where to put the flowers. I don't like them anywhere. They don't fit anywhere. So I am going to glue down the question marks, or at least I'm adding some foam tape, and then I will come back and figure out those flowers. But I'm just going to decide to use just one of them, and I will cut it apart because somehow it just doesn't fit the way I imagined. I'm using this T-ruler just to kind of figure out my placement. Normally I just eyeball things, but I thought maybe this is so, I don't know, kind of precise, the whole thing. Better get it right. So I'm cutting apart this bunch and make them, you know, like the stems, I'm cutting them or trimming them just so I can actually tuck them behind the question mark. But of course I just don't like any of the placement. I don't like anything about this. I don't know, in my head well, or maybe I didn't even plan this far ahead, you know. I just knew that I wanted to do the question marks, and then I figured I'm gonna add flowers at some point. But I don't know about you, but I mean, I cannot envision these kind of things, you know. I have to see them as I go, and then sometimes they just don't work. This is one of those times. But in the end, I don't mind what it turned out, or how it turned out. Not great, but it's all right. Again, I cannot use this card, so I just wanted to show an idea with the question marks, to be honest. And maybe you can, oh, you already noticed that I did not stitch any of these dies. I like the way it looks without stitching, and also I am kind of over stitching. I stitched so many scrapbook layouts over the years. I don't know, I just don't fancy stitching anymore. But again, I like this lacy look. They are so pretty, and I actually did the artwork that I have on my wall also without the stitching. Okay, so next card. This is the one for my best friend, and if I'm lucky, I actually will spend, well, not quite my birthday and not quite her birthday, but both our birthdays are in May, and we are finally going to Rome, or we are supposed to anyway. We wanted to do that 5 years ago, but it just didn't happen. So finally, hopefully it's gonna happen. So I should bring this card. Hopefully I'm not gonna forget it. So for this one, I'm actually using one of those die sets that I stole from the Spellbinders booth. Spellbinders had a bunch of, well, quite, I don't know how many, but maybe like 3 dies that I can recall that were similar. Um, not the, you know, different flowers and setups, but just the idea is similar, so that you have basically this shape, and then you can add color colors by adding the different flowers and layers of those things, and then you can create this twice and then fill up the whole background. In this case, this is actually designed for an A2 size card, but I'm creating 5 by 7 inch cards today. All 4 of my cards are that size, and I think it still looks good with this, and I actually have enough space in the middle for my number. So I think it worked out perfectly. So some enamel dots for some additional texture, and then I'm going to move on to my number. And I wasn't sure how I want to place these, but then I settled with this. And I don't know, I kind of like this folklore feel to it, or that at least that's how I feel even with these colors. I hope my best friend is going to like it as well. She likes soft colors, but I don't know. And actually last year I think I also created a number card for her. Oh well, too bad. Okay, so that is almost done. I'm just going to add a few more white enamel dots. I seem to be using them on everything these days, the white ones. I just like the contrast that gives with the colors. And here I have to be careful with the paper because, you know, it's 3D embossed, but you can easily crush that if you press the enamel dot in the wrong place. Now moving on to the next card. This is gonna be for my mom. And I don't know what kind of card I made her last year, because I myself had some number dies come out in the summer, I think, but I don't think I gave her that. I hope not. Anyway, and then again, my idea was to add some flowers behind the numbers, and I wanted to use the hashtag. I don't know if my mom is gonna know what that is. Probably not. Well, I will then explain it to her. To be fair, I could have gone just with the numbers, but I wanted to show you some ideas with the some of the punctuation. Now you can see that this is a large card, and you see that you really only have 3 well, space for 3 letters, or in this case 2 numbers and that hashtag symbol. So if you want to use @ for example, I don't know, I think you can probably use it more on a, like I said, some kind of artwork for your wall. But I mean, you can always use it with numbers. And then I'm bringing in those flowers that I didn't use on my previous card, if you remember. And then I die cut one more because, I don't know, it's not like I'm super particular when it comes to how many of everything you have to have on a card. You know, the number 3 that everybody's so obsessed with. But I don't know, I was just, my eye was just missing something there. And now I'm moving on to the last card, which is going to be for my dad. And yes, my mother is older than my dad. And I don't think you would tell, though, if you met them. Anyway, so, you know, masculine cards. No, I don't know. I don't like them, and I don't like how this turned out either. So I am creating. Okay, so I ditched the pink, what is velvet rose color, from my color combination, because obviously I figured that's not very masculine. So I'm just using the other ones to create this striped background for my numbers. And also I created the outline, basically, which you can create if you use the two dies together, you know, the shadow die and the stitched one. I'm going to show you in a second. See, if you use these two together, then you can create the outline. So I just, you know, I thought that was kind of masculine. And then I added a couple of layers of that. And yeah, if I could ever line up things, I wouldn't have to fussy cut it, but that's what it is. And then I wanted to use some of the symbols, in this case the brackets. So I don't know if that makes any sense, or you know, but that was my idea here. And then I'm gonna use two colors at the bottom, two different mustard colors, to spell my sentiment. Basically, 70 is the new 50. I'm pretty sure my dad is not gonna get it. I don't know. He's super smart, but these kind of things, that no. Again, probably I will need to explain that. So, there's really not much else I can say about this card. But masculine cards, I don't know, and they are not my forte. So I'm adding foam tape to create a bit of a different dimension, because I really don't have anything on this card, you know. I really would need flowers, but okay. So anyway, I hope that I could give you some ideas how to use these, but I'm sure you guys will have much better ideas as well. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you check out the other two videos as well. Both are with new collections today. Again, thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.